Hello everyone, today we're going to be going onto the Battle Stadium ladder, just playing some games with Kyogre and Whimsicott as you see on the screen right now. If you are looking for some thought processes on how I would change the team or how I built the team, that team report will be linked up above, somewhere up there, and probably down below in the description for you guys as well. Without further ado, I'm super excited to get some games on the channel. It's something I haven't done in a while and I'm looking to bring it back. But with that, we're going to jump right into some games for you guys. To start things off, we're going to get a pretty much Caly-S Shadow balance, and I am very happy with this matchup as long as I'm smart about it, because Assault Vest Kyogre can kind of just sit there. It can kind of sit on the screen and not care in the slightest. The only thing I have to worry about is the Amoonguss, really. But even then, I'm probably just going to go Terra Grass in this scenario and just not die. The biggest thing I have to worry about if I go Grass is Landorus, but that's just going to eat a Water Spout before it gets the chance to attack. So I'm actually just going to lead heavily into Kyogre and Whimsicott, and I'm just going to put pressure out. I'm going to keep Shenpao in the back. I like having late game Sucker Punch pressure. I like having a removal button for the Amoonguss as well. In terms of what I want in the end game, Incineroar tends to be the most consistent option I have here. However, if they leverage the Urshifu, it gets a little spooky because I don't really have a way to bring it down. But I'm going to go with my most consistent option, which is the top 4. And we're going to run that back and we're going to see what happens. It's a little shaky when you don't know what you have on when your opponent has, because this team and most of the teams that I build are built for that best of 3 open team sheet setting. So when you have a best of 1 in closed team sheet, you don't really know where the items are on your opponent's team. It gets a little dicey at times, but overall it should be more than fine. It's kind of an excuse if I use that as a way to play poorly, right? So I gotta step up my game here, but it's all good. This is actually a pretty okay lead, I think. If they want to go for the fake out, first of all, there's a few things that can happen here. I am Covert Cloak, so they could just fake out my Whimsicott, maybe expecting it to be sashed. They could just fake out the Kyogre. I'm more so concerned if they just decide to send like a Grassy Glide. So I am going to Terra Poison. I don't love the concept. Sorry, I'm going to Terra Grass, but I don't love the concept, but I kind of have to run with it. And I am going to send a Water Spout. If they give me Tailwind Water Spout at any point, I'm putting out immense amount of pressure. We're going to see their Terra on their end right now. We're guaranteed to get our Tailwind up. It's actually going to be the Landorus Poison. That's fine. I wonder if they're going to go for a Grassy Glide Sludge Bomb play into my Kyogre here. I would think it's a little weird, but it does definitely cover if I Terra or if I don't Terra. But I think if I get Tailwind up, this Landorus might be gone to the Water Spout immediately. Now, granted, if they go fake out Sludge Bomb, it's just a really good play. And there's not much I can realistically have done to call that. That's just a good call on their end. In closed team sheets, not knowing what my Terra is. If they click Sludge Bomb here, I'm going to scream. Now, granted, I'm not going to die because I am Assault Vest, but it's going to hurt. They also could Sludge Bomb the Whimsicott, predicting a Protect from the Kyogre. But that's a pretty good call. But like I said, I'm not dying, but I definitely am not appreciating that. Let's go with that one. I could switch into Instant to keep my Whimsicott alive here, but I think I'm just going to Encore the Rilla, and I'm going to drop my Origin Pulse. I don't know if this is going to kill the Landorus, but we're going to lock this Rillaboom in. We're going to keep it at Click and Fake Out for right now. And maybe they were expecting a Grassy Glide to go into the Kyogre, and they're going to leave my Kyogre on the field potentially. We are leveraging Origin Pulse here a little more than I would like, but it's going to connect just shy of that KO on Lando, and they are going to Sludge Bomb. And if they're, like I said, if they're leveraging that Grassy Glide was going to remove my Kyogre, they're not going to be able to utilize that to their advantage anymore. And now we're getting slowly a little bit of health back from their grassy terrain. And I still think we're very much so in this game. Rillaboom is locked into Fake Out right now, so it has to switch off the field. And I capitalize on that by bringing in Shenpao. And I'm going to have to rely on Origin Pulse connecting, because I could double the Lando. But if the Lando protects as they reset the Rilla, this becomes problematic. And I really don't want to have to deal with that. I want to just make sure I'm removing whatever's on the board. And pretty much any switch in does not appreciate an Icicle Crash O-Pulse. The best mon they have for that is Urshifu, but even then it's still not going to appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and click this immediately. And we are leveraging, like I said, we're risking the fact that we have to hit the O-Pulse if they decide to attack with the Lando. But I'm thinking there might be a world in which they try to stagger the endgame here. And if they try to stagger it, then it's okay. But if they don't try to stagger, it's a little problematic. Now, granted, they might just let Rillaboom go. But that's, like I said, that's unlikely. I didn't expect that to be the case. I would imagine it's... Oh, well, that's fine by me. I was going to say, I was imagining it's Urshifu Caly-S or Amoonguss Caly-S. But that's an Incineroar. And now it's a dead Incineroar. Okay, part of me really wishes I didn't play to the Opulse Miss. But it's fine because Kyogre's goated. It's fine because Kyogre's goated. Alright, you love to see it. Down go both. Alright. So not like in the best of positions, but we're certainly in a position where we're capable of still winning this game. We still have our Incineroar in the back, which definitely helps close this game out, which you have to assume it's Calyrex. And that's one of the big things I like about restricted formats is they haven't revealed their last mon. But 90% of the time right now, it's going to be the restricted. So I can pretty much just safely assume Calyrex is hitting the board. And look at that, we got that right? Like, that is how that's going to work more often than not. And there's a few ways I want to play this. I think they might get greedy and try to fake out my Shenpao. Or go for a Grassy Glide into my Kyogre to pull this back. If Shenpao stays on the field, I have to protect here. Because they could click Fake Out into it. So I'm going to cycle my Incin in and keep my Sash. And this will also allow me to live a Glide if they opt for it. And it allows me to get Origin Pulse off for massive damage. If they decide to let me play it that way. Like if they fake out Shenpao, maybe thinking Kyogre is going to go down to the horse anyways, right? This gives me an opportunity. Maybe they go for a Grassy Glide because I have a Shenpao. They'll think Grassy Glide will get the KO. But now I'm going to try to flip that script here. This also gives me Fake Out next turn, which is very nice. They haven't... Oh, they did tear. I was going to say they haven't teared yet, but they already have. Maybe tossing Incineroar is... Like, taking damage on Incin is a little frowned upon. But, like I said, the moment I get that turn, we win. If I get that call right, we're gaming. Origin Pulse is going to come on out. Calyrex is going to go down to that Sash, which, not amazing, but it's alright. And this is exactly what I wanted. Like, the moment they tried to say, well, we're going to try to get the Shenpao here, they actually just left Kyogre on the field. Sure. I guess they're allowed to leave Kyogre on the field. I think we're alright now. I do think they needed to remove Kyogre there. But I think if they remove Kyogre, I get Fake Out plus Icicle Crash, you know? Like, I bring in Shenpao, I go Fake Out, Icicle Crash, remove the Rillaboom, and then I have the 2v1 versus the non-Terrorable with two Dark types with the non-Terra Horse. I think I'm fine regardless, but that really opens the door here. I actually live whatever this thing goes for over here. I'm just going to double damage. I'm just going to spread my damage out, hit the Rillaboom, hit the thing here. There's not much I can really see going wrong. I do have Fake Out pressure, not that it really matters. But the moment they attack over here, first of all, Kyogre should survive since we have seen Focus Sash be revealed. Thank you, AV Kyogre. And they're actually going to Wood Hammer. This is going to go in Incin, -1. Incin eats for breakfast. Ice Beam goes into Rillaboom. It's not going to get the kill because very clearly they're Assault Vest. But never mind, I lied. That's why. I didn't lie. I got lucky. I think we were winning that anyways with the full health Shenpao in the back, so we're all good. But we will take this knockoff, kill this horse, and move on. But that's exactly what I was worried about. Like, I wasn't worried about them doubling the Kyogre turn 1 because my Tailwind and my Encore support was just going to let me not care about the fact that they click Fake Out. Right? They would have had to not click Fake Out there to really capitalize. But we're going to get another game for you guys here. My opponent committed to Sun. My opponent has fully committed to Sun, and this is actually going to be kind of one of those age-old weather wars, although there's a Koraidon now instead of a Groudon. So this is a very similar team to something I would expect like a Groudon to be on, you know, with the Venusaur, the Venudon, the old school core there. But the Koraidon makes this a little bit more interesting. There is no Intimidate, and I think I can leverage that. Because they don't have Intimidate, I think I leverage Shenpao immediately. The question is, how do I want to lead beside it? Because there's a lot of opportunities for me to lead Incineroar here, but it's also really bad. I want Incineroar for the Venusaur matchup. I want Incineroar to not die to Sacred Fire, but it also just loses to Koraidon, and I think having something along these lines is pretty strong. I am forfeiting all of my support. I have late game Tailwind to match their Tailwind, and it just feels so weird without support. Like, I'm so used to having one of Incineroar into every match. So I don't know. This is a little bit of a harder call to make. I'm not a huge fan of it. But Rilla doesn't really do all that much without an Assault Vest in this matchup. And Incin, despite, okay, yes, clicking Fake Out and not getting put to sleep, doesn't do much out there outside of that either. Always loses to Koraidon, loses to the Walking Wake. I think I have these 4 right. It's just going to feel a little weird without the extra support to help cycle around a Weather War. But we'll see, and we'll see if we can pull it off. The other option was to actually lead Whimsicott Shenpao. But I feel like I'm okay if they want to set Tailwind turn 1. I remove the piece, and then I can bring in my matching Tailwind later and have that Tailwind staggered in the endgame. But we'll see how they want to approach this here. Walking Wake Venusaur. Okay. I am a little unhappy with this. But I think for the most part I have to be alright with it. I mean, I can't really cover for much. I think I send an Icicle Crash into the Venusaur. And I think what I want to do, in all honesty, is just send a Close Combat into the Walking Wake. This is a very aggressive turn. But the way I look at it is that they can't switch Koraidon into both slots. If they switch Koraidon into either of the slots, it's either catching a Icicle Crash or it's catching a Close Combat. And I think I'm very happy with that. And regardless, the damage I'm getting off here is amazing. Like, and if they just don't switch, the Venusaur does not appreciate this. They're going to switch the Walking Wake, which I'm fine with. So this is going to be the Koraidon, I assume. But like I said, this is a Close Combat into this Koraidon, and this is why I'm fine with this. Now, granted, if it's a attacking move from Venusaur to remove my Urshifu, we're fine. But it's actually going to be a Sleep Powder into the Shenpao. It's going to miss. Close Combat's going to go out. Going to connect into the Koraidon. I think that might just seal this one. Obviously, we do have to hit our Icicle Crash, but that was a... that's why you don't click Sleep Powder turn 1 moment. You know, like, yes, my opponent did get unlucky. Yes, I got lucky. You can look at it that way. But if your game plan was to click Sleep Powder turn 1 in what I don't even think is a bad matchup for them, I think it's a little bit of a questionable end game there. I'm going to send another Icicle Crash into Torn, and I'm going to send a Close Combat into the Koraidon. I'm fine if they want to make a switch. I'm fine if they want to remove my Urshifu with a Tailwind Collision Course. I'm perfectly fine with any of the like happening, because as long as I remove Torn, we've won this game. They're just going to not Tailwind, apparently. Koraidon is going to go down, and Icicle Crash is going to go into Torn. Given the fact that the Venusaur wasn't Focus Sash, I think this Tornadus is probably going to have that Focus Sash on it. Icicle Crash is going to hopefully connect. Okay, thank you, Shenpao. Shenpao with that Icicle Crash going into the Torn. No Focus Sash there either. I don't know where the Sash is at this point. Normally, I like trying to figure that out, because especially on like an offensive team, you'd like to see it. It would make sense that perhaps onto Flutter Mane, but you can also go Specs on Flutter Mane on teams like these. So it's a little bit of an awkward position for my opponent here. Like, obviously, yes, the the Sleep Powder miss was massive, but I was getting enough damage off there early. I mean, they got super aggressive. They got super risky with the immediate Sleep Powder. If they just click the Grass move and remove Urshifu, the game is entirely different, right? Obviously, they put the 50-50 on, but then they put the 50-50. They got the call somewhat right, and then had to lean on Spore, which just felt, or Sleep Powder, which just didn't feel optimal going into turn 1. But we'll get you guys another game. So we're going to actually get another Koraidon matchup for you guys here, and this one looks a little bit more tricky, because they're not as sold on needing to have the Sun up. That last team was like, it was very clear where they were gonna try and switch Koraidon into one of the slots. Here, I think it's gonna get a little bit more dicey to maneuver around. They also have Intimidate, so Shenpao can't just be Shenpao. But I am gonna leverage Shenpao anyways, I think. Like Shenpao Urge, I'm gonna run the same thing back. I think this is the concept, having played Sun a fair bit with this team. These are the 4 pieces. Like I said, I would like to have the Fake Out or the Cycle ability from one of my 2 support pieces to help aid the Weather War. But on the aggressive natures of these Sun teams, I don't think it's actually in the right interest for me. Like, Rillaboom just loses to the Incin, to the Koraidon, to the Ogerpon. Incin loses to the Koraidon, doesn't love the speed control from their end. So I think what we have here and the approach we're taking is probably ideal, because this is a very good spot. So what's going to happen here is they're going to click Sunny Day with the Torn. And I'm going to let them click Sunny Day with the Torn. Now, the question I have is, do I want to go Terra Stellar Sucker Punch and remove the Flutter? That works if I know that they're choice specs. But I can't confirm that they're choice specs. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Icicle Crash into Torn. And I think I'm just going to reset my Ursh by bringing in the Kyogre. Yes, they're going to set Sun. That's actually pretty bad though, right? So I think I just sack Ursh. And if they give me a Surging Strikes, I take it. Yeah. I'm just going to sack Ursh. If they give me Surging, we take it. If they don't give it to me, oh well. It's not a play that I want to make, but I think it is a fair trade given that I don't really have a switch in the back end here. They're going to just set Tailwind, so part of me is really wishing that I would have gone for like a Sucker Punch here. They're going to Dazzle. I'm losing Ursh here. I know I have Bulk. Never mind. Urshifu is goated. That appears to be the Sash on the Fluttermane because a Specs Fluttermane would have removed my Ursh. Sash Fluttermane is not going to remove my Ursh. Fluttermane's going to go down. And Thunderbolt, Icicle Crash is hopefully going to connect and be able to remove this Torn and allow this endgame to stagger the exact way we want it to. But we do need to connect this Crash first. Perfect, thank you, Icicle Crash. Icicle Crash is going to connect into the Torn. Goodbye to the Tornadus. And I am very happy with how that turn went. Now, granted, that's one of those ones where I don't know their item. If I know their Sash, I don't have to worry about dump setting Sunny Day. I just always make this play. Right, but I was scared of them being like Specs and going Sunny Day, Speed Booster, Tailwind switch in, right, stuff like that. So I think I make the right play there, not realizing, like I didn't have a switch in. So I think I was on a back foot if they were Specs, but knowing that they were Sash or finding out that they were Sash there and still allowing to live, ended up working out for us there. But definitely not a great play, I don't think. I was definitely on a back foot. Just going to protect, and I think I'm just going to let the Ursh, no, I save Ursh. Do I save Ursh? Is it worth it? Part of me wants to say it's worth it because I'm going to be able to match Tailwinds and then have Rain up. And then Kyogre is going to go crazy. But there's nothing for me to switch in because I can't switch in you. Because if I switch you in, I'm losing. I'm losing the Ka and then I don't match Tailwinds. If I switch Kyogre in, it potentially takes a Horn Leech and that's too much damage. So I don't have a choice. I just kind of have to let this go down right now. And we'll send a Surging if I get the chance to into the Ogerpon. But I don't think I'm going to get the chance to. They could make a really weird play. Does that classify as a weird play? I'm not sure. It's a play. I'm not sure if a lot of Koraidons actually run Breaking Swipe currently, but they're allowed to have Breaking Swipe. Oh. Okay, well now I'm terrified. So there's a few ways I can line this up. And I think what I want to do is I want to Encore this Ogerpon. I'm going to bring in Kyogre. They're never going to Collision Course my Whimsicott. So I'm going to go for this and I'm going to Terra Dark and Encore the Ogre. Actually I should live a Flare Blitz because they can't Terra. Can they Terra? They can, right? But they're gonna. That would be a Terra. That's a pretty big commitment. I am gonna pivot. I definitely need Encore, so I'm gonna bring in you, and I am gonna Terra Dark. I think Terra Dark just guarantees that I'm getting the damage off onto Ogerpon next turn and making sure it's gone for the rest of the game. If they go for a Collision Course into Kyogre, I'm still fine with that. I think they have to. If they Collision Course. If they Spiky Shield and Collision Course my Whimsicott, they got me. But I think that's an insane play if they ever make that. I don't know why they would. If they knew that I was Terra Dark, I could see it. Maybe making a big call on that play. But not knowing that I'm Terra Dark here, I think that play would be insane had they gone for it. So we're going to get the Encore off into the Ogerpon, which is exactly what I wanted. No Terra. And they're just going to drop a Breaking Swipe again. So I think I'm okay with that. Or they're going to get Swords Dance up again, but now I match their Tailwinds. And I click Origin Pulse. They have to remove. They only have one more turn of Tailwind, so I get that up. I get to go Origin Pulse. Actually, I Water Spout. Because I'm not taking that much damage, and any damage I get guaranteed is better for me. And now I Tailwind. Because if they Collision Course my Kyogre, and I get a weakened Water Spout, I still have Whimsicott next turn. And I'm fine. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. I think that's a perfect pin at that point, because like I said, if they Collision Course Whimsicott, or remove Whimsicott, Kyogre gets the big power Water Spout off, Tailwind gets matched. If they go for the Collision Course into Kyogre, I still have Whimsicott coming out of that turn, and I can Moonblast into the Koraidon for the win. We'll get you guys one more. Those battles have gone relatively quickly, so we'll go one more for you guys. Okay, we're going to get Terapagos here, and this looks like one of the more offensive Terapagos variants that we've seen running around, so my guess is going to be Choice Specs immediately when I approach something like this. There's a Tornadus, there's a Chi-Yu. It's either going to be Specs or maybe like a Power Beam, Meteor Herb, or Power Herb, Meteor Beam, there we go. English is a tough language, I guess, but something along those lines is what I have to scout out for. My main concern with this is going to be keeping pace. Kyogre can keep pace. It's just a little spooky. So what I want to do is I think I'm going to go with actually like a little bit of an odd play and something like this. Now, because of this fact that they're Specs, because of the fact that they have the Rock Pond, once again, I might forego bringing Incineroar and Rillaboom. I seem to have fallen for that trap a few times, right? Where I've foregone Incin Rillaboom, and it seems to work. I'm more so concerned that I need to have an answer to the Amoonguss, because you can almost guarantee that they're going to be bringing it. If I had to guess, we're going to see something like Rock Pond, Amoonguss, Terapagos +1, and I think this is my best option to cover some of that. I could make a case for Incin to cycle in to not get spored, but I think this is my best interest right now, and at least off what I see right in front of me, that's kind of what I have to go for. But it's a little spooky overall, I'm going to be honest. But it's fine. It's fine. Terapagos, like I said, if it is indeed Specs, if I can bait the Terra early so that they don't take away my weather, and my Kyogre can come back in, maybe under Tailwind, we're in a pretty good spot. There's Torn Flutter, which, I'm going to be honest, not what I was expecting. Now, the problem here is I have to figure out if it's Sunny Day. That's going to be Booster Speed? It's going to be Booster Speed straight up, which is surprisingly interesting. Right, and this is where not having Torn does become a little bit of a problem. Because if I had Torn, I could play the whole, I can set my rain back up whenever I want. I can reset the sun without having to hard pivot my Kyogre in. Them being Booster Speed is interesting as well. So if they're Dazzling Gleam, they actually do not remove my piece. I think I'm going to protect the Whimsicott because I want to try and stagger my end game here. I'm going to send a Surging into the Flutter. I don't think I'm going to get it off, but I don't think I have a better option right now. Right, they're just probably going to, like I said, if they Dazzling Gleam or Icy Wind, Urshifu's in a pretty good spot. There's the Icy Wind, so they're going to go for the Icy Wind into a Bleak Wind, which I don't think kills me. It'll be close. It'll have to be a really offensive Tornadus to get the kill on my Urshifu here, because I do have Bulk. Now, granted, they could just simply miss. I will be honest with you, they could just all of a sudden be like, oh, they missed. There we go. There we go. Like I said, they could just simply miss. That is always a possibility in those scenarios. And I'm definitely going to capitalize on that right there. And I have zero complaints. Okay, so now I'm actually going to Encore this Flutter Mane into that Icy Wind. And I'm just going to send another Surging. I still don't think I'm dying if they double connect. Obviously got a tad bit lucky. I could go for this with the Terra Dark to keep myself alive. Is it worth it though? It honestly might be. It honestly, I should live a Bleak Window. So once again, they'd have to be really offensive to have the Bleak Wind kill me. I'm just gonna not Terra. I'm gonna save my Terra. I might regret it, but I guess the Icy Wind plus the Bleak Wind will kill me, right? But they also might just try to Tailwind now. But they're gonna go for another Bleak Wind here. That is fine. They're gonna. Does that kill? If I lose both, I lose. Straight up. If I lose both pieces, I lose. I really don't think Urshifu is dying, but maybe they are very offensive Okay, they're very offensive Torn. Okay. I think I do straight up lose now. Obviously, they're locked into Icy Wind, but I don't think I have the ability to actually pull this one back now without the speed control. I'm going to go Kyogre, and I'm going to go Shenpao. I'm actually going to Sucker Punch, as weird as that may seem, because I don't want to get hit by the Icy Wind here. They're locked into Icy Wind. If they make a switch, they're getting hit hard by a Water Spout. So I do still think there's a chance to win this game. But I definitely think I might have misplayed and got a little bit too ahead of myself. I was so focused on, oh, I'm going to stagger Tailwinds. And I just never really capitalized, you know? Once again, I'd imagine they're going to sacrifice their Flutter Mane here just to try and save it. Okay, we'll break a Sash with an Icy Wind. Yeah. No Tailwind. Oh, I guess the Tailwind's same priority as Sucker Punch. So I would be shocked if they didn't click Tailwind here. There's the Tailwind. So no Sunny Day, which is actually really good for us. I wonder if they're Sash, though. The way they were approaching that game, it wouldn't surprise me if they were Sash, but they're not Sash. They're going to go down. So if we can get through the turns of Tailwind, this endgame is actually not that horrible. Okay, so Terapagos comes in, it removes my weather. Is it beside Chi-Yu or is it beside Rock Pond? It's beside Chi-Yu. Is this winnable? So they can still Terra. I think what I do is I protect the Shenpao and I Origin Pulse because I think I'm probably taking more damage than I would like to on my Kyogre. And I'm going to go ahead and click the O-Pulse right now. I think this is going to be a Terra Starstorm and probably a Dark Pulse. They're going to try and remove my Kyogre. And I'm going to take a lot more than I want here. There's going to be no Terrestrialization from my opponent at all. So if I can just get the damage off, we're in a very good spot. There's a Heat Wave. Shenpao is going to protect. I'm kind of upset that I didn't Water Spout here. I'm going to be honest with you. I am very upset that I didn't Water Spout because this is not doing a lot of damage. Like, it's going to hurt, but Water Spout would have done more than enough here to be able to remove pieces. Just be Terra Shell, please. That's the Chi-Yu. Okay, we hit the... It's Sash Chi-Yu. Okay. Okay, so we confirmed that they're Specs. So now they Terra. Do they protect their Sash Chi-Yu? That miss is a little unfortunate. I wouldn't have been against getting the damage off. I really have to call if they protect the Chi-Yu or not here. 2 turns left of Tailwind. They know I have Sucker Punch. I'm going to call the Protect from Chi-Yu so that they can get more damage off with their Terapagos. I'm going to Terra Stellar Sucker Punch in hopes that they Terra here to break my Sash. And I'm going to send another O-Pulse. This is a little bit of a risky call because if I go Sucker Punch into Chi-Yu and they single target Terra Starstorm into my Ogre, I am not dying. Which is why I think they might try to protect to keep it alive. If they keep their Chi-Yu alive, they protect, they keep it alive, and then they go for it. Okay. Okay. My brain is functioning today, guys, okay? My brain is functioning. They'll go Terra Starstorm actually into the Shenpao. Does this give me a chance to win this endgame? Sacred Sword, yeah, it's okay. It's going into Terra Shell, that's fine. But now I get Origin Pulse. If this is putting this Terapagos, which is very clearly Choice Specs, into range of a Sucker Punch, we can win this. Oh, never mind. It's killing it. We win. Thank you, Shenpao. That was a little bit of a weird play. Like, I get what they were going for, right? And they wanted to remove. I don't know why they didn't just Terra. Like, they wanted to break my Sash. I am really uncertain as to why they didn't just click Terrestrialize there. Right, now I just Sucker Punch on the last turn of Tailwind. And I just Ice Beam so I don't miss. But that seems really weird. I feel like if they Terra and Protect, send a spread Terra Starstorm, even if they missed a KO on Ogerpon there, they've at least lowered me to a spot where I have to be potentially scared of something, right? I get what they're going for, right? They wanted the Terra Shell, but I mean, I got the kill, and we'll take it. I am never going to complain about that. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Actually, a really good showcase. I believe we went like 4-0, but that's not important. Like I said, I really just want to showcase the team for you guys. I have had a blast with this team. If you guys are interested in trying it out, feel free to do so. The link and the Pokebase will be down below, and of course, that team report will still be linked for you guys if you are looking for something like that to figure out what I would change moving forward, any adaptations, team building process, stuff like that. I did release that video a couple days ago. It'll be linked up above or down below. It'll be somewhere for you guys. You guys will see it. But with that though, really fun team. I do want to start getting back into more battling on the channel. Not going to forego any of the other analysis stuff we do, but I do want to start working in some more battles on the channel. I think it's something that we are missing from this channel. I tend to focus on it over on Twitch a lot more, but I do want to bring it back to YouTube in some capacity, right? But with that, if you guys do enjoy these types of videos, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And with that, we're going to get on out of here, and I will catch you all in a future video.